Hi there, this is Bob Graham from Riggs Asset Management Company. Today I want to talk about, well, the markets and what we've seen over the last several weeks. To put it bluntly, the markets have been ugly, and they were getting uglier right up until the point in time where the administration backed off and did a pause on their tariffs. So let's talk about what we saw that we think caused that, and then what we see or what we think we're going to see coming down the road. First off, the volatility of the markets, most people think about the stock market, was extraordinary. But what was even more extraordinary was the volatility in the bond market. And I really think that's what pushed their hand to where, hey, wait a minute, things are getting a little crazy in the markets, and we need to take a step back. And I think that's what drove the pause. We saw volatility levels in the 10-year Treasury and the Treasury markets in general that we've only seen, well, quite frankly, we've never seen them at this level. But we've only seen it twice before in history. One in '08, one time back in 2008, and then another time further back in history. So what have we seen since Wednesday? Well, one, we saw one of the strongest rallies, I think, certainly in the top 10 strongest rallies we've ever seen in the stock market ever. We also saw a shift where volatility has begun to come down. Volatility in the stock market and volatility in the bond market has also come down. Those are huge positives. Hopefully we'll see interest rates moderate as time goes by. The other thing is, I think there's a bit of a sea change in the markets where we've most likely put in a major bottom, if not the bottom in the markets. And we're seeing that because more and more, we're seeing more stocks improve. We're seeing even when they pull back, they're not pulling back as much. So we think we're into that period where you actually have an opportunity to look around, do some shopping, and buy some things on sale. Listen, this bottoming process is just that. It's going to be a process. It's going to be bumpy. It's probably going to take a few months. And we could even see a weaker low down the road with fewer and fewer stocks pulling back. But we think we're in that process. So what we're doing is we're filling up our list, looking at things that we want to buy. So think about when you go to the grocery store, you go to the department store, and they put eggs on sale, or they put sweaters on sale. Now's an opportunity to pick those things up at, we think, pretty discounted or just downright cheap prices. And that's exactly what we're going through now. Talking about the tariffs, I do want to have a little sidebar here. Large corporations that go out and they buy 1 million TVs or 2 million pairs of tennis shoes, they're going to be able to maneuver through this process pretty well. But the smaller company, the entrepreneur down the street, the person that's got a month of inventory or 2 weeks of inventory, and how do they get that inventory? They write a personal check. These are really the people, I think, over the next month or two that could be hurt pretty hard from this tariff process we're going through, this negotiation process we're going through. So, if you know that person, if you like their products, golly, help them out. Go buy something from their store or from their business. I think it's really a time to think about the small business, the Main Street business here in America. Anyway, I know that's a sidebar, but it looks like we've started a bottoming process. This process is going to take a few months. It's going to be choppy, but it's likely at least that on a volatility basis, on the dramatics that we've seen over the last few weeks, hopefully that's behind us and we begin to build here. Now's the opportunity to shop, look around, try to find things that are cheap. And that's kind of what we're doing right now. Anyway, I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions whatsoever, reach out to your Riggs team, whether that's what's going on with the markets or a personal finance issue. We're here for you, and hopefully you found this helpful. Thank you very much.